Good Tuesday, everyone. I'm Cyrus Webb, and welcome to Conversation Daily News. Glad you all could be with us. Of course, you have your news headlines coming up on this Tuesday. Have a message from my book, Words I Choose to Live By. And in today's entertainment spotlight, yesterday, had a chance to speak with acclaimed actor Rossif Sutherland about his new series, Murder in a Small Town, that premieres today on Fox. You heard part of that conversation today. Enjoy our broadcast. For Conversation Daily News, I'm Cyrus Webb with your Tuesday headlines. In Mississippi news, Thyamara Hall faced with more problems, according to state report, reports WAPT.com. Thyamara Hall has been plagued with issues, with the latest being a report from the Office of the State Fire Marshal, who received a complaint about safety issues in the theater. Thyamara Hall has been plagued with issues. The report showed issues with the fire alarm system, objects blocking exitways, and wiring that needed to be covered up throughout the theater. Jacksonians are concerned about the future of Thyamara. I feel like the loss is going to be that it's an integral part of the art community here, says Stacy Winters. It's just a great venue and space. I'd hate to see it go, says Winters. The city said they haven't officially responded, but they plan to get an update from the city attorney. In national news, House moves toward averting a shutdown, sidestepping a Trump demand, reports the Washington Post. Defying former President Donald Trump's demand for a government shutdown, the Republican-controlled House appears poised to advance a bipartisan funding bill to keep federal agencies open on the cusp of November's election. House Speaker Mike Johnson late on Sunday introduced a 3-month funding extension with additional crisis financing for the Secret Service, the result of a compromise with congressional Democrats to avert an October 1st shutdown. But the legislation does not include new voter registration restrictions that Trump demanded ahead of November's vote. Without that measure, and every ounce of it, as a former president wrote on social media, Trump pressed Johnson to block new funding bills. Instead, the speaker wrote to GOP colleagues that a shutdown this late in the election calendar, when millions of voters are already eligible to cast their ballots, could cost Trump a shot at the White House and Republicans their narrow House majority. He called the strategy an act of political malpractice. The powerful House Rules Committee voted on Monday evening to approve the bill for a floor vote. Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell was far more blunt when discussing that tact earlier this month. The one thing you cannot have is a government shutdown. It would be politically beyond stupid for us to do that right before the election, because certainly we'd get the blame. One of my favorite sayings is, there's no education in the second kick of a mule. We've been here before. I'm for whatever avoids a government shutdown, he said. The bill represents Plan B for Johnson, days after he told GOP leaders in a closed-door meeting that there is no Plan B. The speaker originally preferred a 6-month funding bill that would push annual spending bills into March 2025, giving the next president influence in the debate. In more national news, JoJo was a teen sensation at 33. She's found her voice again, reports ABC News. JoJo shot to stardom at 13. 2 decades later, JoJo, as she's better known, has written a memoir saying the song responsible for her meteoric rise, Leave, Get Out, was foreign to her. In fact, she cried when her label told her they wanted to make it her first single. Lyrics about a boy who treated her poorly were not relatable to the 6th grader who recorded the hit, and sonically, the pop song was far away from the young prodigy's R&B and hip-hop comfort zone. Leave, Get Out went on to top the charts, making her the youngest solo artist ever to have a #1 hit. I grew to love it, but initially, I just didn't get into it, she said. In more national news, Diddy's music streams jump after arrest and indictment, reports the Associated Press. Sean Diddy Combs' vast musical catalog has seen a jump in streams since his arrest last week and the unsealing of an indictment against him. Under his many musical monikers, including Diddy, Puff Daddy, and P. Diddy, the industry data and analytics company said the mogul's music saw an average 18% increase in on-demand streams during the week of his arrest compared to the prior week. A distinguished professor of music business management at Berklee College of Music said he's not surprised by the increase. To him, the streaming bump is akin to a Google search of the artist as a means of satisfying curiosity. And finally, in business news, Wall Street adds slightly to its record highs, reports the Associated Press. U.S. stock indexes added slightly to their record highs, and relatively subdued trading on Wall Street Monday. The S&P 500 rose 0.3%, beating the all-time high it set on Thursday of last week. The benchmark index is coming off its 5th winning week in the last 6. The Dow Jones Industrial Average added 0.1% to its own record set last Friday. The Nasdaq Composite rose 0.1%. Treasury yields held relatively steady after reports suggested U.S. services businesses are continuing to grow, though manufacturing is continuing to shrink. Stock markets in Europe and Asia held mostly steady amid relatively modest movements. Tesla did lead the way with a gain of 4.6%. The maker of electric vehicles has clawed back all of its sharp losses from earlier in the year. It was down as much as 42% at one point in April when it was cutting prices on its cars to boost flaccid sales. Cyrus Webb, Conversations Daily News. It's some time for a message from my book Words I Choose to Live By. Enjoy. Good Tuesday, everyone. I'm Cyrus Webb, and welcome to Words I Choose to Live By. In order to get where you want to go, keep your mind focused on things that will get you there. Keep the faith. The possibilities within you are endless. Have an amazing Tuesday. Rossif Sutherland is featured in today's Entertainment Spotlight right here on the Conversation Daily News. For Conversation Daily News, I'm Cyrus Webb with your Entertainment Spotlight. Acclaimed actor Rossif Sutherland joined me on Conversations Live, the radio show, to talk about his career and the new series, Murder in a Small Town. Here's a bit of our conversation.
Rossif, thank you again for spending some time with us. Really appreciate it.
It's my pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Well, look, let's start with Murder in a Small Town because has been buzz about this for months. I mean, what has it been like for you to be able to see how people have been anticipating this series?
Well, actually, I'll be honest with you. I have no idea. I'm not on social media, and I don't turn the TV on that often. So I'm blissfully ignorant. I'd probably be mortified if I knew. I'm an actor who's always in denial that the things that I do will get seen one day. But yes, I'd be the first one to change the channel if I saw my face on the screen.
Rossif, that is so interesting. But so, I think
this is by far my biggest break. So I'm glad this is all happening.
Well, to that point you were just making, you are someone who does seem to immerse themselves in these characters. As I said, I first, remembered who you were from ER, but people probably have their favorite role of yours from television or film. Is that part of the fun for you as an actor, being able to slip into the skin of different types of characters?
Yes, that ultimately is the gift of this profession. I had an acting coach called Harold Guskin. He's passed away now, but he coached me in the basement of his New York apartment, and he was like a father figure to me. And when I told him after a couple of years of training that when he asked me, do you really want to do this for a living? I admitted that, in fact, no, maybe this wasn't for me because I didn't want to pretend to be other people for the rest of my life. But he twisted the phrase around, and he said that acting was not going to be about pretending to be other people. The true job of acting was actually the exploration of all these people that I could have been.
Cyrus Webb, Conversations Daily News. We thank you all for tuning in to this edition of Conversations Daily News. I'll be back to get on tomorrow with more news, message from my book Words I Choose to Live By, and of course Entertainment Spotlight. Until then, our host Cyrus Webb saying as always, enjoy your day, enjoy your life, enjoy your world. Thank you all for choosing Conversations Daily News today, and let's go make today amazing. Take care.